Good morning, learners and viewers. Welcome to the session for Masters of Business Administration. This session is for Materials Management, that is MMT 006. We will start rather, we will continue with dynamics of buyer-seller relationship. What basically buyer and seller interaction is. The relationship between a buyer and a seller is dependent upon their representatives. The representatives of the seller and the buyer interact to enhance business transactions. Their interaction forms the basis of an amicable relationship despite interactions between a number of other interactions between other employees. The nature of interactions between the representatives of buyer and seller depends upon the behavior, perception, and goals. If you talk about perception, the perception of the buyer representative of the seller's representative may be typical in terms of being competitive, talkative, manipulative, and optimistic, while the seller's representative may have a perception that the buyer's representative is calculative, reserved, and lacks vision. Perception also depends upon the reputation and worth of the company. Companies with good reputation, high worth, and credibility are considered to have representatives who are reliable. If we talk about roles, the role played by the representative is also very important so as to gaining the trust of other companies. If the representative is not trusted or have a little say in the organization's decision, the deal may not be completed successfully. Then comes the behavior. If the representative portrays irresponsible behavior, the sales deal may never sail through. Now, what is meant by relationship marketing? Marketing involves handling products and people. People here can be buyers or sellers. Sellers focus on diverse products as per buyer's need, while the buyer's main focus is to earn money. In order to fulfill the requirements of the buyer and seller, it is important to maintain relationship between the two parties rather than focusing on short-term goals like increasing sales, acquiring new customers, enhancing profits. It is more important to focus on customer relationships. Relationship marketing focuses on building strong emotional ties between buyers and sellers. The main advantage of relationship marketing are new customers. To acquire new customers, it involves high cost and time. Relationship marketing helps in developing customers' loyalty and have a strong connect with them. Retaining old customers. Based on relationship with the seller, buyers feel comfortable with the sellers and thus develop a close contact with them. Product innovation. Relationship marketing helps in understanding buyer behavior, their needs, and thus lead to innovation in products or value addition in existing features. This further strengthens the relationship between the buyers and the sellers. Next one is building strategy and adoption of a new tool. Interactions between buyer and seller help in understanding demands of each of the parties involved and thus developing long-term strategies. Marketing spend. As relationship marketing helps in in retaining the buyers and also attracting new ones through informal ways of communication, that is buzzword, Word of mouth of existing customers drive sales and reduce spend allocated to marketing and advertisement. Popular cases of relationship marketing. Now we are going to see. You might have heard the name of all these organizations. Now the thing is that how they believe in relationship marketing. If we start with Apple, Apple rather than focusing on rewards, aims at targeted marketing, where in it synchronizes a customer's preference and allows them to access music, films, shopping as per their preference. British Airways. It also provides points to its customer when they buy air tickets, book hotels, holidays. These points can be redeemed against meal preferences or seat preferences. Then comes your Obey, one of the industry leader in relationship marketing. Uber focuses on extracting data from social media as well as giving rewards. McDonald's, they lay a lot of emphasis on customers' feedback and their satisfaction. They have divided the relationship marketing team as per the regions, which help them in addressing their issues quickly. BMW, it was it has adopted a luxury loyalty scheme named as the owner's circle. Through this, the owner can track financing, maintenance, purchase of car or lands. It also gives reminders and has options of owner-to-owner checks. Amazon, it provides tailored offers, promotion and recommendations based on past performance. The web-based application makes it easy to reorder and delivery is also very quick. Zara, it employs software which store customers' transactions as well as preferences. This helps in serving the returning customers effectively. If we talk about Tesco, Tesco rewards its customer by giving points against every point spent. On accumulating these points, they can be exchanged against vouchers, and these vouchers can be used for watching movies, going out for meal, and even filling fuel. Now comes your sales presentation. Nowadays, buyers and sellers present to each other what can be offered. These presentations can be offers to sell or offers to buy. In case of sales, presentation matters more as the seller has to lay down the offerings of the product to the buyers. These are sales pitch demonstrations of the product, creating a long-term impression and promoting products. The key feature of good sales presentation are relevance and focus. The presentation should be relevant to the product and should not be generic. A good presentation is target specific. Second one is connection and physical demonstration. A good presentation develops a link between the buyer and the seller. The presentation can be supplemented by even showcasing the product physically and explaining its major attributes. Framework. The presentation should always lay down the framework of the relationship between the buyers and the sellers. It should explain the benefits of the product and also benefits to both the parties involved. Next is negotiation. As the name suggests, it is basically talking together, making things simple, and to get the result. To develop long-term relationships and to mutually benefit from them, amicable negotiation in a transactions are preferred. It is a strategic solution to any issue which is accepted by both the parties. While negotiating, the two parties get to learn about each other's details. The parties involved learn about each other's strengths and weaknesses. Negotiation helps in reducing debts, lowering prices, get better deals, and negotiate term of contract. Sales negotiation further helps in engaging the customer, understanding client's need, assisting the customer in taking decisions, earn business, retaining customers, assessing the terms and conditions of the contract. Negotiation now helps in fixing product prices, agreeing to terms of contract, and forging strong relationships. With respect to training, organizations invest a lot in training their employees for negotiating effectively. The key aspect of training is identify customer support and timely need to be clarified with respect to priority of the customers, that is, price delivery or services. Customers' stand on position needs to be clarified with reference to the urgency of product requirement, affordability, and other sources of competition. Sellers offering to the customer has to be assessed and whether there is a substitute available for it. Pre-decide the negotiable terms. Clarity in terms and condition of negotiation. Explain the value of the product with respect to the price being quoted and discuss any discount if there are and devise a well-written agreement. Now, what is the negotiation process? Prior to any negotiation session, the purchasing agent or the negotiator must evaluate all relevant information and assess his or her own strengths and weaknesses as well as those of the supplier. For this assessment, the purchasing negotiator helps the tactics and strategy of the negotiation. These beforehand assessment, along with the negotiating skills, are the controlling factors that can be influenced by the level of preparedness of any and all the contingencies. The first step in planning for negotiation is to establish the objective. In developing these objectives, actual numerical ranges are established for quality acceptance, actual dates of delivery, and actual monetary value for applicable elements of cost. The major element of cost traditionally negotiated include quality of materials, quantity of material, quantity of labor, labor wages, price of material, factory overheads, and other costs entering into the price factor. Following issues become highly relevant in the negotiating process. First one is suppliers' bargaining strength. The seller's bargaining strength usually depends on the following three factors. First, the seller's desire for the contract. Second one is the seller's certainty of getting the contract. And the third one is the time available for negotiation. If we talk about the seller's desire for the contract, the purchasing agent should encounter no difficulty most difficult to deal with during any negotiation. In extreme situations, the seller may be unwilling to make concessions. The third one is the time available for negotiation. Short lead time drastically reduces purchasing bargaining strength. Once the seller learns of short lead time, he merely drags his feet and negotiating terms become favorable. Purchasing agents bargaining strength. Again, there are three factors. The purchasing agent's bargaining strength also depends on three factors: the extent of competition among the potential sellers, the adequacy of cost and price analysis, and the thoroughness of preparation of the purchasing agent. Now, what are the different negotiating techniques? A competent negotiator determines before or very early in the session which of the concessions he is prepared to make are of the greatest importance to the supplier. By holding off in these areas while making minor concessions in the other areas, the purchasing agent retains assurance of making substantial gains later in the session. Once the purchasing agent makes the concession important to his advisor, he loses his bargaining strength. The buyer should strive never to lose the initiative that he automatically obtains when he receives the supplier's proposal. The competent buyer always carries the gain to the supplier. He should keep the supplier on the defensive by making him justify his proposal. The wise use of questions is very important technique in negotiation. By properly timing and phrasing the questions, the negotiator can control the progress and trend of the negotiation. The techniques of answering questions is just as important as the technique of asking. The competent negotiator knows when to answer and when not to answer, when to answer clearly and when to answer vaguely. Not all questions requires an answer. The correct answer in negotiation is not governed by the same rules governing answers in the classroom. In case of negotiation, questions, the correct answer is the answer that helps promote short-term tactics and long-term strategy. Another important characteristic of a competent negotiator is being a good listener. By listening, the buyer can learn the basic need of the supplier. There is also the human side of the negotiation. The buyer may know the supplier's representative. If not, he should strive to learn as much as possible from the personal habits of the representative. In most purchasing negotiations, interdependence is the backbone of bargaining relationship. Neither the buyer nor the seller can achieve any goal without taking the goal of other into consideration. The end product of negotiation is an exchange of concessions that result in contract advantages to both parties. In most cases, a 60-40 contract results because one negotiator is more skillful. The process and techniques of negotiating purchasing deserve special attention of two basic things. Firstly, the whole concept of negotiation is widely misunderstood and in many cases suspect even by persons engaged in purchasing. And secondly, technological change has made industrial procurement increasingly complex, particularly in defense-related industry. Now, competitive bidding and negotiation. When competitive bidding is used in industrial purchasing, it usually indicates that there is a market for the item and that some prices level may be established. The product to be bought is an accepted standard and its specifications are relatively simple and clearly spelled out. Negotiation is generally used in the following situations: when the purchase involves requirement of a unique or complicated nature that has not been purchased before or for which there is a little information. A conveyor line for a new automated food processing plant is an example of it. When prices of an items are fixed at custom, fair trade laws, or actual conclusion among suppliers. If there are many suppliers in the field, good negotiating tactics are generally useful in winning concessions from one producer who is anxious to get the business. When there are few suppliers, or not only one in the field, but the product in question can be made in the buyer's own plant or bought from abroad, or a substitute for it is readily available. Fourth one is when a supplier number of suppliers have bid on an item, but none of the quotations is completely satisfactory. None may meet the buyer's requirement as to price, term, delivery, or specifications. Customer service. Customer service focuses on providing customers with assistance pre, post, and during the transaction. Customers' expectations are met when they are provided with good customer service. It brings a sense of satisfaction to the customer. If customers are not served well, it may result in loss of sales, business going to competitors. While on the other hand, good customer service helps in forging strong and long-term relationships. Characteristics of good customer services are: number one, listening. Good customer service aims at listening with the goal of comprehending and understanding their requirements. Second one, asking. Asking appropriate questions for the addressing the needs of the customer. Asking questions helps in involve solving issues which further helps in fulfilling the goals and objectives of the organization. Responsibility. The customer service agent has to take the responsibility of their actions and even the needs of the customers. Responsive. Being responsive in an important attribute to customer service. To be able to serve the customer, it is important to be responsive to customers' need and adapt in all situations. Knowledge. The customer service representative should have complete knowledge of his area and thus he will be confident too. Being confident and up to date helps in serving customers appropriately. Timely. Customer service should be prompt and making a customer wait leads to inefficiencies and reducing customer base. The representative should be able to work in a timely situation and appropriately. Accuracy. The customer service representative should be able to serve the customer accurately. The information passed should be accurate and should not show a false picture to the customer. Now, how to manage buyer-seller relationship? The relationship between buyer and seller is marked by uncertainties of need, transactional, and market. Their relationship involves five stages, namely pre-relationship, exploratory development, stable, and final. The evolution of this relationship depends on the parameters like commitment, distance, uncertainty, and experience. These relationships between the buyers and sellers have been categorized as transactional, collaborative, alliances, and reciprocal. The representatives have to play a role in managing relationship and aim at exchange of information, adaptation, negotiation, crisis management, and relationship management. Conflicts are caused by lack of trust, uncertainty, power differences, distance between the buyers and sellers, and patterns of operations. The best way to resolve these conflicts is through negotiation, bargaining, and persuasion. Services are provided to customers in two ways, namely guarantees and warranties, and after sales service and technical assistance. If we talk about guarantees and warranties, it is the responsibility of the seller to fulfill the needs and expectations of the buyers. On buying a product, the customer also expects satisfaction out of it. Guarantees offered by sellers are like value added services and are unique selling propositions for them. For instance, ITC, when it forayed into the food and processing sector, the production networks were examined. The producers of in these sectors are the farmers, and the company examined the sorting and distribution network, which involves villages. Warranties, on the other hand, are written statement and a reflection of the performance of the manufacturer. Products under warranty can be returned for repair, refund, or replacement, whereas guarantees are assurance about replacement of the product that have unsatisfactory performance. After sales service and technical assistance. Services offered by sellers differentiate their product from the other seller. Involvement or providing technical assistance is a great way of understanding customers' need. For instance, Hero Motors receives immense support from its supplier. Most of the materials like piston, blocks, rings were sourced domestically in India. These products were manufactured with precision and reduced cost. Such services provided to customers are non-standardized and are customized as per the customer requirements. For instance, Pidilite, which manufactures Fevicol, whose customer base includes past printers, the sales team approaches them directly to market products and provide technical tips to them in form of a regular magazine that is Fevicraft. Few ways of creating business by manufacturers are repackaging. To address customer needs, the product may be repackaged or sold in groups for providing better assistance. Secondly, access to physical infrastructure. To provide a suitable environment for doing business, access and management of physical infrastructure of manufacturing units or service providers to agencies may be handed over. Financing, selling products and providing assistance to the customers by providing financial options has become profitable these days. For TVS sells a number of products and also offers financing options through Sundaram Finance distribution. This is also a value-added service which helps in delivering products and thus meeting delivery deadlines and also operates retail outlets. For instance, Gokuldas clothing manufacturers has a retail outlet named Weekender. Now, supplier selection, evaluation, and development. Suppliers these days is an important part of the supply chain in any industry. It is true that the responsibility of the supplier to deliver goods. quality products and services and at the right time, keeping in mind the price. This transaction has to be consistent in nature over long term. Supplier selection, how the supplier is selected. Supplier selection has now become an important task, and there are various techniques of identifying, selecting, evaluating, and developing suppliers. To select effective and efficient supplier, the process starts with survey. Prospective suppliers can be identified from various sources like catalogs, directories, trade journals, trade exhibits, and various sources of trade. Once a new supplier are shortlisted, preliminary screening is done. Then comes your employer. In this stage, information and quotations are invited from the suppliers. These details are primarily related to the type of company, technical knowledge, credibility in the terms of finances, labor force, experience, sales profit, product details, quality consideration, testing facilities, inspection system, manufacturing plant details, and etc. There are a number of things. Once the inquiry is complete, the buyer may evaluate the suppliers through various techniques like allocating weights to each factor, ranking on the scale, rating of the supplier, or a combination of these. Based on the assessment of the supplier, the buyers may create a pool of suppliers located domestically as well as globally. Then comes negotiating selection. Based on the selection of supplier, negotiation is undertaken with the selected suppliers on the parameters which may be important for the organization related to quality, price, and after sales service. Samples may be taken or may be asked for, or technical details may be discussed. Experience or assessment. Once the supplier have been identified, selected, and contract awarded to them, these suppliers are assessed based on their performance related to quality, delivery, product conformity, and relationship management. Supplier evaluation. Supplier evaluation can be in the form of rating, ranking, or certifications. It may also depend on quick delivery of materials like implementation of just-in-time technique. To have a supplier evaluation system in place, there needs to be a well-established review system in place. The process commences by identifying suppliers who have the same mission and vision and also supplying the required products. Various factors should be identified which may be crucial for evaluating a supplier. It can be rating or by ranking method. Now we move to unit 7, that is process inventory, work in process. We will be discussing about what is happening on the shop floor related to the inventory. Inventory has two different perspectives. One, it protects us from the stockouts, and secondly, it helps to the opportunity cost. Thus, there is always a conflict between maintaining higher or lower inventory levels. At one end, the holding cost should not increase, and on the other hand, the manufacturer should be able to deliver the goods on time in full. What we in short we call it as OTI. There are three ways of inventory, or rather three types of inventory. That is, first one is raw material inventory. Second one is intermediary goods, which are work in process or progress inventory. Finished goods inventory, which is normally stored in stores. The raw material material inventory is typically based on economic order quality, buffer, and safety stock principles. A company decides to the order level based on the uncertainties, cost, seasonality, and other similar factors. The finished goods inventory depends on the demand, the time of supply, the order fulfillment time, and the holding cost. However, in process inventory is an outcome of the supply chain strategy and the manufacturing process. What is the concept and need of WIP? Process inventory is stocks of intermediate goods produced during a manufacturing process. It is also referred to as work in process. A production process comprises different stages of production. The output of each stage constitutes the in-process inventory from the time it is produced until it is consumed in the next. Ideally, one stage output should be directly fed into the next stage without intermediate or in between stocking. However, this is not the case for the following two reasons. Full supply chain strategy. The strategy to produce as per actual customer requirements is called full supply chain strategy. The objective is to keep minimal finished good inventory. This strategy is followed by organizations pursuing differentiation and customization strategies. The second one is push strategy. The other strategy is push strategy. Under this strategy, the manufacturing is based on mid to long term demand forecasting. This strategy is helpful in mass organized production of goods and not based on actual customer demand. This strategy is followed by organizations pursuing low cost and mid to stock strategies. Production system and WIP inventory. WIP is an essential performance measure and a crucial issue in production planning and control. In each stage of the production process, value addition in the work in process, that is WIP, takes place. That is why WIP is also referred to as value added work in process. That is VAWIP. A production system aims at minimizing the value added work in the process as it impacts other performance measures such as energy consumption, throughput rate, cost, flow, and cycle time. Manufacturers consider the average work in process of the system as key performance indicator and aims to minimize the same. The WIP is reduced by decreasing the waiting time and throughput times. Thus, in turn, increases the machine utilization and throughput rate. The cycle time of a product is defined as the time from the beginning to the end of a manufacturing process. That is, the time is the average time a WIP unit, part or semi-finished component spent in the system. The throughput time is defined as the time spent by the parts, that is WIP, in each production stage or step. That means we can say that cycle time is the ratio between net production time upon number of units produced. The throughput time is the stage or a step in simulation of the interval time such as waiting, processing, inspection, and movement interval. The movement refers to moving material in and out of the machine, manufacturing or other workstations. That means your throughput time will be sum of interval time upon number of units produced. Throughput time can be reduced by reducing the interval times. Throughput time is also the lead time for an item to be processed at a particular stage. Throughput is defined as the rate at which unit passes through the system. So that means it can be termed as a ratio between WIP and throughput time or lead time. Now moving further, we will discuss about the production system, type of the production system and their layouts. Understanding the type of production system and layouts are necessary to minimize WIPs and their waiting and processing times. Under a made to stock, that is MTS production system, work in progress depends on the throughput rate time at which each workstation and product cycle time. In a make order MTO production system, the layout varies according to the variety of the product offered to the customer. Cellular manufacturing system. These are widely used and the plant layout aim at meeting the product and process requirement and the response time. The needs are complex when the variety increases, leading to adoption, adopting a flexible manufacturing system, that is FMS, where the production aims to change layouts quickly. We were talking about cellular manufacturing. Here, in this manufacturing system, the production of a product is done at various subunits called cells. A cell acts as assembly or a component manufacturing unit and is a self-sufficient manufacturing sector. Here, the persons working are proficient in all the equipment and tools within the cell. The cell layout has different forms such as Z, T, or circular shaped design to optimize the flow of goods and reduce the working process. Here we see different types of layout. The first one is linear layout, in which there are three cells and they are placed up in a line. Second one is your U-shaped layout, in which two cells each are on the two sides and they are being connected. That means cell 2 and 3 is connected in a U-shaped form. If we talk about Z, that means the process starts from Z, cell 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and then 3 to 4, in the order which is shown in the figure. Then comes T-shaped. So two cells are at the top and two are on the vertical side, forming a T-shape. And in the circular shape, all the five cells are placed in circular profile. The throughput time is the total time of waiting, moving, and processing time. Optimizing the cell formation aims to minimize the throughput time and intercellular movement. The second most adoptable or usable method is flexible manufacturing system, what we call as FMS. FMS aims at flexible manufacturing, producing a variety of goods in a single production system. Flexibility in manufacturing is achieved through automation, where machines and numerical control machines, what we call it CNC, and parts move from one machine to another on conveyors or with the help of robots. The manual interventions are significantly less. A single loading and unloading station supplies part to the workstation and unloads finished or semi-finished goods processed in the setting. The layout for are modular and take different forms, such as loop or ladder or open or robotic oriented layouts. The objective of these layouts is to ensure minimal adjustment time, WIP inventory, and cost. Here we see a loop there. Here the thing is that loading is done at the top. It moves from machine 1 to machine 2, completes around 3, 4, and it's come out for the output. The ladder layout of machines in which machines are kept one over the other refers to the placement of machine in the form of a ladder where goods and one moves the breadth or the depth. The workstations are placed in each step or run to enhance the probability to enter any machine in the layout and remove the need for secondary handling. Thus, the lesser the handling and transport time, the lower will be the WIP inventory. An open field layout. This encompasses both loop and ladder. That is, it comprises multiple loops and ladders, generally meant for a large number of parts. Robots-based layouts are generally opted for when the space is limited and a single robot is placed in an open shop that transports material from one cluster or module to another cluster of machines, or multiple robots support the production modeling through delivery on time. Thus, the layout of machines depending on the process, product, volume, and variety aims at minimizing the WIP and the cycle time. What are the factors influencing WIP inventories? The factors influencing WIP inventories are supply chain strategy, push versus pull input strategy. The processing is straightforward and the WIP can be controlled to a greater extent. Pull strategy offers greater variety to the customers. Thus, the layout gets complex, and the sub-optional arrangement of machines can increase inventories. Production strategy: make to stock or make to order, configure to order, and associated hybrid strategies. Product strategies are aligned to the supply chain strategies, and hence it focuses on trading of volume and variety, increasing the complexity of the production process. A low level of planning can cause an increase in inventory. Buffer stock. WIP is influenced by the level of buffer stock to meet advertises such as production slows down or breakdown. In some cases, the availability of raw materials or input to production is seasonal or exhibit volatility in quantity and price. In such instances, organizations have to maintain a buffer stock of the raw material and initial process parts. What are the methods for controlling WIP? Planning and coordination between the workstation, lean processes, and in-process quality control can minimize the WIP inventory. The production system should aim at removing the constraints of bottleneck in the process. The stage with lead time greater than the permission time acts as a constraint on bottleneck. The manufacturing cycle efficiency can be the KPI to assess the bottleneck. It is the ratio of total allowable time of all the operations and the tactical elapsed time. It is the ratio is less than 1. It indicates inefficiency in the system. The manufacturing cycle inefficiency can be studied through work center efficiency. Work center efficiency is the ratio of permissible time and actual time spent per workstation. If the ratio is less than 1, it indicates efficiency in the particular workstation. Work center efficiency is improved through different methods, that is quality circle, TQM, Learn Sigma, and Japanese 5S approach. There is short, set in order, shine, stabilize, and sustain. Quality circles refers to a group of people or worker who attempts to identify and resolve quality and align problems in the area of responsibility. Studies show that issues also induce cycle time improvement and process work in process management. TQM, Total Quality Management. It is a philosophy that aims at maintaining standards and quality throughout the production system. TQM aims to ensure conformance to the quality standard prescribed by the customers and minimization of production cost. TQM also looks into different dimensions of the production process, including lowering work in process and enabling just-in-time manufacturing. Lean Six Sigma is an approach to minimizing waste in any organization's system, including the production process. Any form of inventory, including work in process, is a waste value adds to the customer. The lean approach aims to identify the non-value added activities, thus reducing the lead time and cycle time. The Six Sigma approach describes a structured way to define. D is for define the problem, measure M is its impact, A, analyze the consequences and alternate ways to improve and suggest improvement is I, and the ways to control is C. This approach is advertised as DMAIC. This is define, measure, analyze, improvements, and C is for control. Methods of monitoring WIP inventory. WIP monitoring is important to limit the same in the production process. Kanban is a useful tool. It adds a method to the monitor WIP. Kanban is a visual system to monitor work as it processes through the workstations, identifying the potential bottlenecks and mitigating them to enhance the throughput. The visual display in the form of cards or dashboards indicates the work done at a stage and communicates the next level of work. It triggers either improvement of goods from one workstation, that is outstation, to another workstation where it will be in, or orders for processing in the next stage. Kanban is used in pull systems as conducting processes are not linear and depend on customer's order. Second one is convert, that is constant work in process approach. Traditionally, Kanban has been useful for a production system with less variety. However, the system has been motivated to cope with high variety product manufacturing systems. One such Kanban variant is the convert or constant work in process approach. Unlike Kanban, there is no fixed part of identification number in convert approach also. Project evaluation and review technique and the critical path method, that is CPM and PERT. The project management techniques such as project evaluation and review technique PERT and critical path method, that is CPM, can be used to manage They monitor the production cycle, time minimizing WIP inventories. Under this approach, the set of activities with slack time and activities with no slack time are identified. The activities with no slack time are the critical activities, and the delay in which activities will lead to the delay in the production, causing an increase in WIP inventory. This approach helps monitor the flow of parts, identify bottlenecks, and improve the processing time. Optimization approaches. Optimizing task, machine layouts, and time to produce is complex. Operations research and heuristic model have proved useful in optimization. The linear and non-linear programming techniques, doing theory simulation, doing goal programming, and dynamic programming are some of the useful operations research models used for optimization. In cases where obtaining optical global solutions are complex, realistic models such as algorithm, uh, particle swarm optimization (PSO), and different other variants of these approaches are used for optimization. Now we move to Unit 8, which is related to spare parts management. Spare part management is crucial for maintaining plants and equipments required for production and operations. An effective spare parts management ensures the continuous availability of assets for manufacturing without a drop in productivity levels. Thus, there are two issues that organizations address. First, stoppage of production due to non-availability of the spares, and second, equipment operating at low efficiency levels because of poor quality spares. Machines stop working during plant maintenance, and at the time of the breakdown. Proper maintenance planning results in lower breakdowns and lower productivity. Spare parts management is the process of assessing the spare parts required, identifying the right suppliers, procuring, storing, issuing, and replenishing them whenever the quantity falls below the assessed amount. This process aims at holding the right inventory at the right time and at the right cost. Spare parts management issues and challenges. Spare parts are components kept in reserve to replace the same components fitted to a machine and equipment when they fail. However, the failure rate varies with the machine life cycle, nature of its use, and extent of the preventive maintenance. Assessing the correct quantity and distinction between the vital, essential, and desirable parts are the crucial challenges faced by the production units. Assessment of right quality, that is, assessment of correct quantity of a particular spare is a challenging, especially for attending breakdowns. Reserves are planned, maintenance are less fluctuating, and can be assessed with higher accuracy. Breakdowns are sudden, and spares required are uncertain. Failure patterns are typically represented as a curve as it is shown in the figure. There are three parts. On the horizontal line, we take the time, and on the vertical line, we take the failure rate. First part is early, second part is constant, and the third part is wear out. The curve has three sections. The initial stage, the initial or early failure period comprises the time just after installing equipment or a machine. In this stage, a device may fail due to its manufacturing defect, wrong installation, or some initial incorrect actions related to using the machine. At this stage, machinery generally does not fail, so the requirement of the spares is less critical. There are specific components that typically exhibit failures at the early stage of the use of manufacturing units. Constant performance stage. At this stable performance phase, the failure rates are predictable with higher accuracy levels. Planned and prognostic maintenance result in higher predictability of fewer breakdowns. With this, we will be concluding today's session.